Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So this is my first time turning the camera around and showing you guys who I am. So this is a little strange. I don't even know where to look on the camera, but I figured at this point, with my channel's maturity, I felt like I owed it to you guys to open up a little bit more, show you who I am, talk about what I do for a living, what I have been doing for a living for the last 9 years, what got me to where I am, and really what's in store for the future. So again, before I even jump into that, I do want to open with a big thank you. So a lot of you guys have been following my channel for a number of years, which is kind of crazy to say that out loud. And obviously, when I created my channel, I never thought it was going to be anything nowhere near to what it is now. And granted, I understand it is still very small, but I am very appreciative of the folks who take the time to watch all my videos and comment and engage with me. I really do appreciate it. It's a big hobby of mine. It's a big passion of mine, of course. You guys know I'm a total Toyota geek and a half, as it really is where my heart is. So thank you all so much for the continued support over the years. I sincerely mean that. So what do I do for a living? You guys have a lot of you have guessed some pretty hilarious ideas, and I think my favorite was witness protection program because I move all the time, and although that is a very good guess, it's not the case. So I am actually an officer in the United States Air Force. So I've had the great honor and privilege of serving our nation within the Air Force, and it has been a phenomenal time. So just over 9 years total. I'm a major now, but I am transitioning off of active duty starting next month, and that has been a huge decision of ours. My wife and I was talking through it as a big family decision to do so, because the Air Force has been outstanding. It's been phenomenal. Every part of it has been wonderful. They've taken great care of us. But after moving 6 times in 9 years, we finally made a decision to hang up active duty anyway, and try to establish some roots within a single community. Where our kiddos can grow up with the same peers, same group of friends in the same community. And that's what brought us back to Cheyenne. We were stationed here before for a couple of years, and we really liked it here. Although very windy, we knew that this was a great community to raise a family in, especially with 3 kiddos now and a 4th one inbound come January. We figured, what better time than now to hang that up and do so. So, big decision. Very happy that we were able to get back to Cheyenne, but it is bittersweet leaving active duty Air Force because it has been great. And for full transparency, guys, I've never turned the camera around because I never wanted anybody to even think for a second that my personal views and perspectives on things were that of the Department of Defense or were that of the Air Force. I know that'd be kind of a far stretch for anyone to make that connection, but for that reason alone, it's kind of been my driving reason to not turn the camera around, to show you who I am and what I do. Because I want to keep those things separately, keep them separate, right? So that's been a driving reason throughout the years, of course. When it comes to how I afford all these amazing cars and beautiful house and whatnot, you can Google how much a major in the Air Force makes. It's not a ton. You never join the military to get rich, I assure you. But having moved 6 times in 9 years, my family and I, my wife and I, we decided to take the risk in buying a home at each of our assignments. We never truly knew how short each of our assignments at every location would be, with the exception of one. We knew our Seattle assignment, Seattle, Washington, was only going to be 1 year. So because of that, we did not buy a house there. We rented a home in Seattle for 1 year. But at every other assignment, we purchased a home. And again, that's a risk because you never know what the housing market is going to be. But we ended up doing so. And fortunately, come time to leave, come time to PCS again, it always worked out in our favor, fortunately. I'll chalk that up to luck entirely. So come time to leave, we essentially had our house. We lived there for free, and we made a few dollars on the back end, if that makes sense. So we're very, very fortunate, very lucky in that sense. But when you tie that to the fact that I was very fortunate to have earned a ROTC scholarship, a Reserve Officer Training Corps scholarship out of high school into college, it was a full ride scholarship. I ended up graduating with 0 student loans and with 0 student debt. So that is what I came to learn. It was a big deal because I had a lot of my peers who were graduating with just their bachelor's degree and with 40, 50, 60, some $70,000, $80,000 in debt just with that degree. So if you have college debt, you know for a fact that it can follow you, it can haunt you for several years, unfortunately. So between lucking out in the real estate world and being very fortunate to have earned that scholarship and have zero student debt, that really helped me, jump into the workforce, jump in as a brand new lieutenant, and my income at that point was just that, strictly income to pay for a house and toys. So that's kind of what it's been for us, and again, very grateful to have earned that scholarship. So kiddos in high school, do good, get good grades, and hopefully you can get a full ride scholarship like that. Once I actually became a lieutenant, I had a mentor at my very first assignment say, you're only going to get busier. You're only going to have more kids, and your family's going to grow, right? So there's no better time to pursue your advanced education than now. So he talked me into starting my master's degree right away, and I finished that by 2015. And then at 2015, I made the very bold, perhaps certainly naive decision to start a PhD program. Naive because I didn't truly know what I was getting into. I didn't understand what the dissertation process was and what that entailed at that time fully. So I started that in 2015, and just in 2021, I finished that. So finished the PhD, and the vast majority of even the PhD program was totally paid for by the Air Force. All of the masters was paid for by the Air Force, and the vast majority of the PhD. So again, super grateful for the Air Force to have provided me those opportunities to advance my education and better myself, as it's a free opportunity for me to advance my own education, and I'm super grateful for that. So 0 student loans and real estate plus a good paying career along the way has allowed me to splurge on all these Toyotas and to enjoy these vehicles and share my craziness with you guys. So again, thank you for following the channel, following the craziness. I know some of you appreciate it for sure. And if we're being honest with each other, I know for a fact that my videos are not providing anything super special or super unique. I get it. I understand. I'm providing you a one-take video right now. I'm just recording it and I'm going to upload it, right? And I do that with the vast majority of my videos. Very seldom do I actually take the time to edit and slice up the videos and make them better for you guys per se. But I've done that on purpose because between my job in the Air Force as a public affairs officer, I wanted to always do well in the Air Force and commit the vast majority of my time, as I should, to that. And then when I'm at home, I like to try to commit the rest of my time with my family. And that's why you kind of see me incorporate my family into my videos because, they're always around, and I'd like that to continue to be the case. So instead of doing a number of video shots and then editing and trapping myself in my office for a number of hours editing, you would get the one-take videos with Peanut or Buggy or even May the baby coming into the scene. So hopefully some of you can appreciate that transparency there. And again, forgive me, it took me so long to show you who I am and talk a little bit about what I do for a living. So moving forward, though, I got a couple exciting things on the horizon. One of them being, although I'm starting a civilian career now, I also started a company. So I started a company called Untamed Motors Llc. So obviously it's going to be focused on vehicles and primarily Toyotas. So it's going to be offering a number of services, which I think maybe a number of you may be interested in taking me up on later down the road. So I won't formally initiate the services until December or January when I finish building a shop, because that is a requirement in order to me to initiate these services. But come that time, I will be, of course, buying and selling high quality, low mileage vehicles, primarily Toyotas, of course, you know me. The second thing will perhaps be the largest proponent of the company, and that'll be being an auto brokerage, or an auto broker, excuse me. So that is, if you are searching for a 4Runner Charity Pro and you're trying to find one for MSRP, but you're struggling, you can't find it, and they all have 10 grand markups on them, that is when you can reach out to me and hire me to try to find you that TRD Pro 4Runner, the color you want, for the price tag you want, of course, for a nominal fee. The fee that I charge will obviously be based on the exclusivity of the vehicle that you're after, whether it be a Trail Teams Ultimate Edition FJ Cruiser, right? Or a Ford Raptor, Gen 3 Raptor, whatever it ends up being that you're after, we can talk through what that would end up being, of course. But again, this is down the road. The third thing that I would offer is negotiating. So some people absolutely hate negotiating with dealerships. It makes them sick to their stomach. And I understand why. It really is kind of an uncomfortable situation to be in. So that is something that I would offer for you guys too. So if you're one of those people who just wants to avoid that whole back and forth, let me talk with my manager, all that stuff, that is when you can, again, reach out to me and hire me for even a lesser fee. To try to find you, to negotiate that price tag that you want to pay for the vehicle that you've already found and identified. I just engage with the dealership or the seller, of course. So negotiating is another one. The fourth one is helping you sell your vehicle. So oftentimes when I sell a vehicle, a lot of you will reach out to me like, hey, you sold that pretty quick. Where did you post it? How did you sell it? What mediums did you use? So that is when you can send me a number of photos, and then I will post it on the various platforms that I typically post my vehicles on, to include the channel here and my Instagram. I'm happy to do that too if you like, to try to help you sell your vehicle. So that'll be another service. And the final one will be way later down the road, but it'll be consignments, right? So if you live in the regional area, to me, in Cheyenne, in Colorado area, Nebraska, and you have a vehicle that kind of meets the criteria of what I typically sell, you can reach out to me and we can arrange a consignment where I sell it for you, of course. So all that is coming down the road, but I figured that it wouldn't hurt to at least announce it to you guys as I show you myself for the first time. But again, I just want to say thank you. Thank you all for supporting the channel. And again, maybe forgive me for being a little weird with this. This is new to me. The whole turning the camera around, seeing myself on the camera is a little weird. So again, thank you for all the support and your continued support over the years. Definitely excited to see what comes in the future. So until next time.